Hey, this is Nicholas with the Backyard TARDIS here for another review of some more Time Lord Victorious. This time we're looking at the second comic series. This one's called Monstrous Beauty. It is taken out of the Doctor Who magazines. Something that I hadn't checked out before Time Lord Victorious, but saw it was part of this. Unfortunately, it's not available in print here in the United States, but you can get it digitally through Pocket Mags, and so that's how I've been experiencing this. And it's just a wealth of amazing Doctor Who stuff every month, both classic and modern stuff, as well as like the books and the audio dramas and all that kind of stuff are covered and reviewed, as well as like toys and different things. Lots of cool stuff in there for a Doctor Who fan, so definitely check that out. As for this comic, I didn't really care for this comic. I'll get into why, but there were a lot of things that were good about this comic, and big lore points too. So it starts out with the Ninth Doctor and Rose, and they come out, and the Doctor instantly feels something's wrong with the air. He's like, every fiber of his being is telling him to get back in. The TARDIS has taken him into the dark times, somewhere Time Lords aren't supposed to go. And so this is back before Time Lords were Time Lords, and he's on Gallifrey. He's where they're Gallifreyans, they're not Time Lords yet, so they don't have that. But this is in the dark times, so this is before death has been given to the universe. The only way people die is through accidents or murders, but they don't die of old age, and that's true of all species in the dark times. And that's kind of what Time Lord Victorious is about. They're about this species called the Cthulhu that go around limiting everybody's lifespan. So we're seeing that. And right off the bat, I really like the mannerisms they give the Ninth Doctor. They really know how to write the Ninth Doctor. You can hear his voice, his cheekiness. It's there in the dialogue. I think better than they did Rose Tyler in this. But I definitely, Rose wasn't off, but every line they wrote, I'm like, okay, yeah, the Ninth Doctor would say it that way. So I really did appreciate that. Now they have the story. They're discovered by some Gallifreyans led by Rassilon. Now there's kind of debate in the fandom if this is the Rassilon that eventually is like one of the founding members of Time Lords, or if this is possibly a notable person in Time Lord history, and Rassilon becomes a name that other people are called by. You know, King James, King Henry, Elizabeth, like sometimes notable rulers, their name goes down to notable people later in history. So there was that. And then the big crux, though, that they find the Doctor's trying to get out without revealing who he is. They're attacked. Rose is taken by, basically a vampire. And in the Doctor Who universe, they've multiple times over the years, they do a lot of legends. They do vampires, and they are not really the mythical being, but they are aliens that all the mythical legends are based on. And I've never had a problem with that. I'm not a fan of vampires. I don't like anything gothic kind of like that. It's just not my thing at all. But I appreciate it. It's always aliens. However, in this comic, they take all 5 different species that over the years have been done in Doctor Who as potential inspirations for the legends of vampires, and put them into a coalition in the dark times that are fighting a war against the Gallifreyans in coffin ships. It's very tacky, very on the nose, with the cheesiest of the cheese of some of the not so great of the classic Who era. It's it's just kind of, I don't know, too on the nose. There's been other times when Doctor Who has done this, even in the modern Who, when they've referenced something, and I'm like, okay, I like the whole concept of aliens based on, you know, legends, or legends are based on aliens. But when they go too far and make it too campy, then it gets to me. I go, no, that's too silly. I remember there was a Doctor Who episode with Shakespeare, where they had ones doing the spoken word as a weapon, but they were using that as like a basis for like the invention of like witchcraft, and I don't like that. So that's, but that's my personal taste, not yours. As far as, like I said, the Doctor acted like the Doctor. Now, what this is setting up, though, is we know that in the books, you've got the 10th Doctor has gone back. He's going to stop the Cthulhu. It's going to cause massive ripples and effects, and just affect the universe if he goes and changes things so early on in the beginning of the universe, that the 8th and the 9th Doctor go back. Now, the 8th Doctor, he's coming with his army of Daleks. He's commanding the Daleks. They've enlisted him, and so he's coming with them. And they're putting the 9th Doctor, he's going to have an army too for these books, but he kind of usurps the bad vampires that are basically making these other species of vampiric beings their slaves. So he overthrows that, and he gives them a cure so that they no longer need plasma. He gives them something that can replicate that and make their technology work, because even their ship runs off of that. I got a very Stargate Wraith vibe off of like the concept of even the ship has to feed on plasma. So he puts this thing that's a regenerating thing into their vat engine, and now they all have food and they don't have to feed on other people, and they're a happy species now, and they're grateful to the Doctor, so he's going to be commanding them in the dark times. They do a thing where Rose gets taken over, converted, and the Doctor has to fight her, puts her to sleep, and he eventually cures her by the end. They have another one that comes to fight him, and he reveals to him kind of, I can undo all this. I can undo your dependency, and I can make you not a slave to the higher forms. And so he's kind of like their attack dog. He swoops around. Meanwhile, they got something that looks like the Man-Bat from Batman the Animated Series. Kind of pretty much that exact design. Out there attacking spaceships. Like I said, this, maybe if I was into vampires, I would think all this is cool, but I'm not. So to me, it's like super cheesy, not my thing. But once again, the story is very Doctor Who in nature. You got the Rassilon stuff. You're setting up where the Doctor's going to be and how he's getting to that final confrontation. I am very interested in getting to that book. I'm in the book before that, which is just focusing on David Tennant. So that'll be the next book that I get and read, which I'll eventually be doing a review on. But that's kind of just my interpretation, or my review of Monstrous Beauty. Well done art. Like I said, really done dialogue. Just not my cup of tea. If they were going to be doing all the different kind of baddies, I'm kind of at the point that if you got one Doctor getting together the Daleks, let's have the other Doctor putting together the Zygons, or I'm sorry, not the Zygons, the Cybermen. I think that would be much more fun. Of course, Zygons would be good too. Solarians, the Sontarans. Sontarans would be some hilarious writing. So for me, it's just taking some classic villains that I have no attachment to, and so therefore not interesting. But it plays a role. I don't think it plays an important role other than it sets up how this Doctor got to the Dark Times and where he's got all of these foot soldiers. So in that way, it's important to the story, but it's basically from this review, you've gotten all the B points of it. There's nothing super deep to be gathered from this. So anyways, that's another Time Lord Victorious review. I'll be catching you in the next one. Everybody have a good day.